Alright everyone, welcome back to my Devil May Cry 5 S rank guide, and today I'm going to be helping you get through mission 2. So if you look at my mags, I don't have anything in specific, so I'm just using what I want right now. You can copy that if you want, but for the time being you should just use what you are most comfortable with. So this is the first long mission in the game, and don't you worry because it's not too bad. You're not going to be fighting much complicated enemies here. This first fight is just going to be a bunch of Empusas and then a dead scissors. It's not too bad, I promise. Right, so for the Empusas, we're going to be doing what we've been doing the whole time. We're going to be varying up our moves, we're going to be taunting, and we're going to try not to get hit. Again, trying not to get hit should be easy because these dudes do nothing basically. And just don't be doing the same moves, you know, because doing different moves gives you a higher rank. Try to keep your score here above a B at least. There's a Buster, there's a High Roller, there's a Charge Shot. And then, as you can see, the Dead Scissor spawns, right? And my best advice is, we're gonna go for the safest way of killing them, by the way, is to go hog wild on them, just beat them up. Because you're not going to be doing too much damage, you're just going to be hitting their scissors. You're going to be beating them up, and then when they cling their swords, you're going to stop everything and drop down. So that because it's going to do its like spinny attack. So you're just going to drop down to get out of the way of that, and then continue attacking it. And then just keep doing that. And if it's close to the ground and it starts doing its spinny attack, just jump. Look, I'm dropping down now, we clinked swords. And then boom, I'm going to continue, keep fighting it. And then the second the scissors break, we'll buster it. And you can also parry them if you want, because when you parry them, then you can just kill them with one gunshot. But that doesn't give as much style, and it's also less safe. But alright, now that we've taken them out, we're gonna continue moving through it. Some tentacles are gonna spawn, let's just leave them alone. And here we're gonna be fighting some Hellcanas and a bunch more Death Scissors. And Hellcanas are nothing to worry about, just treat them like Empusas but with more health. One thing I will say is though, do not buster them on the ground. If you're gonna buster them in the air, because the buster animation on the ground is so damn long. So please buster them in the air if you're gonna do it. And you shouldn't have any issues taking them out, just vary up your attacks as you've been doing this whole time, and you'll be okay. And then you will have to take out a bunch more Dead Scissors, which we're gonna be basically doing the same thing as before. So start slashing at them, breaking down their scissors, and when your swords clash, just jump away, just drop everything and avoid. And keep them in check because there is two of them this time, so just make sure that you avoid the other one while beating up on the, first one. But you shouldn't have much issue here. And I suppose I should remind you that if you're not exceeding, just please keep trying. If you're not good at it, do at least try, because I said this in the first video, and it is better to exceed and not do it well than just not doing it at all, because that if you exceed, even if you don't do it well, at least you're still gonna get some revs in, meaning extra damage. Alright, here I am taking out the last dude, bustering him, and bada bim bada boom. So then we enter the hotel, and there isn't any combat for a bit, so I sped up the footage just a little bit. And I just want to remind you, if there's any optional enemies, do not fight them, they ruin your score. Alright, here we go, we have the next fight over here. So this fight isn't too bad. You fight an Hell Antenora and a bunch of Hellcanas. So with the Antenora, you don't want to knock it to the ground. It's gonna happen anyway, but you want to minimize that, because when it does, it's gonna empower and it's gonna start charging at you. And especially when it devil triggers, it can do some big damage. A good way from keeping them getting knocked down on the ground is to jump cancel them. If you know how to jump cancel, then that's gonna be very useful when fighting them. If you don't, then try to stay in the air for as long as possible. But even when they empower it, they're very easy to avoid, and then you can continue attacking them. Now all in all, this fight isn't too bad, just the camera can be a little wonky sometimes because the room is pretty small. But you're gonna be alright here, it's not too bad. Just avoid them and then just kill them. So now we're going to be moving through the hotel for another little bit, so I'm just going to remind you real quick that I recommend that you switch your gun button to R2, because that way you're going to be able to charge it while comboing things. So that means you're going to have the gun constantly charged and be able to shoot out charge shots more, meaning more style and more damage, which is, always good. So this next combat encounter that's coming up is an absolute bloodbath. That next one is also very easy. It's just a bunch of Hellcanas and a bunch of green Empusas. So it's not too hard. So in this fight you shouldn't have any troubles, you're just taking them out like you normally would. Now I think here's a good place to mention that you should not be scared to break your breakers. If you want to switch your arm, just break it. Or if you don't want to break it and want to use it, just charge it and then use it that way. Because for example, I just broke my overture. What I could have done instead is charge it, plant a bomb on a dude and then blow it up, and that would have swapped my arm anyway to the punchline. But yeah, you should not have any problems here. This is a very easy fight, and it's also really good for getting style because it's just a bunch of basic enemies which you can just crap on basically. And look at that, my style meter is at triple S. It's very easy to gain style here. Just try and avoid getting hit because obviously that's going to cost you a bit. I take a hit in this fight, but it's okay because I make up for it. And what you could do in this fight, I didn't do it, but you can go into Devil Trigger and try to land a showdown at some point during the fight, because that's gonna do a crap load of damage to your enemies and also give you a crap load of style, which is also really good. So yeah, then I try to taunt, but I get hit. So what I did wrong there, I taunted at the wrong time. You should taunt during your gameplay, but just don't do it at the wrong time. Make sure enemies aren't attacking you or else you could suffer a punish. But you saw what happened there. My style ranking went down straight from a triple S into a B. So that's not good because that's a good bit of style there I could have lost. But I make up for it. I get back to a double S real quick. And I maintain that for the rest of the fight, which is your top priority really. Maintaining your style ranking. Because that's the most important thing when you're trying to S rank a level. So yeah, I finished that with a double S. Not too bad. Pretty good. Then we move on. Now jumping off of this balcony, there's gonna be a bit of optional enemies. Do not fight them, as I've been saying to you the whole time, because optional enemies, I know I sound like a broken record, they do kind of mess up your style, so just leave them alone. There are some Impulses here, so just avoid them, don't fight them. Grab the Nighthawk Hatchling, and then this next fight after this actually, you can skip it if you want. It's just a 2 Hell Antinoras, but if you want, you can skip it by using Nero's triple jump. Here when the floor breaks, you can just triple jump out of there if you want. But I keep the fight in just for the sake of having it in the video. Okay, yep, I suffer a hit. Do not do that. Do not walk up to it the second the fight starts. But yeah, we're gonna be fighting these two guys the same way we fought the other one in the hotel earlier. Just make sure you keep them off being knocked off the ground as much as possible, because as I said, they charge up and then they do one massive attack, which is gonna hurt you, especially when they Devil Trigger. So just make sure that, and if you do get them knocked down, just jump in the air, maybe throw a charge shot at them. At least you'll do some damage that way too. And if you're scared that you're gonna get down on the ground before they stop attacking, then just air taunt. If you feel comfortable enough, you should try jump cancelling them, because that way they're gonna be kept off the ground for long, meaning that they can't really get knocked down on the ground to do their charge attack thing. But yeah, just avoid taking sloppy hits like I did there at the beginning and you will be fine here. It's not a hard fight too. And then after this fight actually we have Goliath, which is going to be fun to talk about. But alright, we are done here and then we move on. We're actually going to make a pit stop at Nico's van first, and I'm not using DLC arms, but if you took a lot of damage during this mission so far, go to Nico and buy a bunch of sweet surrenders and then you can heal that way. I'm not going to do that because I'm not using DLC arms, because I don't think that's fair for people who don't have them. But what we're gonna do here is equip ourselves with a bunch of Buster Arms. And what I like doing is I like to have a Buster Arm every second arm. What I usually do is I equip myself with an arm I'm comfortable with. Then I equip myself with a Buster Arm I'm comfortable with, and then a Buster Arm, etc. So here I choose Overture as my first arm and then my Buster Arm as my second one, and then I just keep this pattern up. So you can either just fill your mag with Buster Arms if you don't want to use any other arms, or you could just pick what you're comfortable with and then just have a Buster Arm every second arm. That's what I prefer doing. But alright, here we go, Goliath time. And luckily for you, Goliath isn't that hard of a boss. He's also really fun, so you shouldn't struggle here that much. He's not really that hard. But alright, here we go. First thing I suggest you do here is, if you have Devil Trigger, go into it and start going hog wild on him, because you want to get as much damage out of him as possible here before he breaks the roof. Because then he's gonna start doing more moves. Here he just does his basic attacks, so just avoid them and just go wild on him here before he breaks the roof, because then he's gonna start doing some other attacks and it's gonna be bad. Ouch, I take a hit there. You wanna avoid that. But right now he's gonna jump through the roof, and you could probably get out a bit more damage than I did if you didn't get hit there. Okay, so now that you're inside of the church, you're gonna wanna watch out, because Goliath here is gonna try to throw a pillar at you. So you're gonna wanna dodge and avoid it, jump and run away, you'll be fine. And then just keep smacking him for a while. Then he's gonna create a hole in the wall which you're gonna run through before he sucks you up in his tornado thingy. But for now, keep smacking him up until the wall gets created. Just avoid his attacks. They're not hard to avoid. You can see he's really just trying to smack you up when you're up on top of his head. So just make sure you keep an eye out on that and you'll be fine. It doesn't matter as much if you get hit in Devil Trigger, because it doesn't knock you back and you still keep your style. You just lose a tiny bit of health, which is okay. You're gonna regen that back anyway, so don't be afraid to like go hog wild on him if you're in Devil Trigger. You're not gonna lose out that much. But alright, now you see that there's the hole in the wall, you wanna run through it because he's gonna try to suck you up in his tornado. Right, if you ran out of the church, then you are safe for a bit. You can have a bit of breathing room if you needed it. If you just needed a little break, then this is it. Now you just have to wait before he jumps out, and then yeah, just keep on going hog wall at him. He isn't that much of a hard boss at all. You just have to make sure you avoid his attacks and you will be okay. If you're in Devil Trigger, it doesn't really matter if you tank a hit or two. Alright, now you see this attack he's doing right now. This is his AoE attack. You want to run away from that as soon as possible, because if you get hit by that, that's gonna hurt a lot. So just make sure you are not in the vicinity of that attack. He's also gonna try to run at you, so you can just jump to avoid that. You can triple jump and then taunt in the air to like make sure that you avoid that. You'll be fine. And as you could probably see, I took a crap load of hits in this gameplay from Goliath, and it's okay because Nero's Devil Trigger is just so damn good. He's gonna heal real quick. So even if you do get hit, just pop Devil Trigger and you'll be fine. But do avoid getting hit, especially by that. That hurt. But when he does that barrage of attacks he just did there, you want to try to stay above him or run away. Preferably staying above him. So triple jump and then taunt, and that's gonna stay in there. Alright, when he jumps away, he could do a bunch of things. He can run at you like he did there. So you want to triple jump and then taunt in the air. That's definitely gonna avoid it. Or double jump, taunt, then do the third jump and then taunt again. That also works. He can also eat a bunch of crap and then throw big balls at you. So you want to jump out of the way of those. Shouldn't be too hard. Or he could also try to suck you in. If he does, you either want to Devil Trigger out of there or break an arm. Those are the only two ways you're gonna get out of it before you take big damage. But right, here I have him stunned, so I break my arm and then I charge my Buster Arm, and that's gonna kill him. Watch this. I throw him at the church just for dramatic effect. And bada bing, bada boom, we are done here. Double S, pretty good. Finish him up. I skipped the cutscene too fast, so I don't see how much style I got. It's gonna show you in a second. 8,271, that's an S rank. So this was a longer mission, but you should be good when you do it. Hope this video helped you in some way, and I will see you in the next one. Adios.